Previously on the Winter's Wrath-On.
Dylan Cole here, live in the Vickerstown retirement home. Even with this new year past, a new winter storm has finally made a landfall to the island.
Look at my lovely diesel works! The ice is thawing through! We'll end up frozen like mammoths.
And don't get any troublesome ideas.
Diesel was determined to make a good impression on himself for Duck.
A passenger train pulling a train with cars of flatbeds. Well, fancy that.
Oi! What's going on?
We're moving!
Luckily, no one was hurt.
You did this!
What? I swear, I didn't. It was gale.
Enough with your fibs.
Even when I do what I'm supposed to do, I still don't get what I want.
It was yet another brisk day on Sodor. At the Little Western, Duck left the Tidmouth halt stations to make his way to the steamworks to have his front buffer beam fixed. Oliver was the second engine to come out.
Good morning, Diesel. Ready for another day of work?
I guess so, Oliver.
Diesel still felt sad from yesterday's accident. Oliver wanted to help.
I believe you're going to have a better day than yesterday.
But I thought you despise us. I've heard of your story of escaping the scrapyard.
I used to hate diesels. Then I got to know a little bit about Frank on the Austerary. If the steam engines and diesel engines can work well together on their little railway, I'm sure we'll work well together on our railway.
After the pep talk, Diesel and Oliver worked together on the Little Western. Once again, with no issues at all. But as the hours ticked past, the weather grew dimmer, and the temperature dropped even lower. Suddenly, there was an electrifying noise. The power was suddenly cut off. The mayor held a towns meeting to the panicked crowd.
What's happened here?
There's been a power outrage at the town square.
Alright everyone, simmer down, simmer down. Now then, the cause of this power outage was the breakdown for the power grid, most likely from the numerous snowstorms. We've already contacted the Peel Gorger Power Company, but who knows how long they'll take before they arrive to examine it and fix the grid.
Something had to be done soon, or the town square will suffer a dreadful freezing night. Then the mayor glanced over at Diesel and gained a brainwave.
Hold up a minute. Why not use locomotives to power the town? You there, Diesel. Please could you help us?
Me? Power the town?
It could work. I heard some stories of the Mid-Soda Railway used a couple of engines to generate power for the sheds and the mine.
Well, it might as well be worth the shot.
Righto, I'll fetch the pair of cranes.
The mayor contacted Sir Topham Hatt about his idea, and Sir Topham Hatt was quick to agree. Judy and Jerome lifted Diesel off the tracks and onto the road.
Right then, all you have to do is slowly drive yourself over to that building where you get hooked up to power the town.
This is going to be uncomfortable.
With the turn of the key and a slow opening of the throttle, Diesel crawled along the road to the other side of the town. Diesel's flanges were cutting deep into the asphalt. His wheels wobbled, and the pain was excruciating. Diesel wanted to pick up the speed, but that would be a high risk of a wheel being broken off. So he had to keep at a crawling pace. At last, he reached the building where he had to get hooked up. A long wire was connected between a power building and Diesel. And with the rev of his motor, Diesel generated enough power for the town to regain their heating back. The townsfolk applauded Diesel for his efforts.
Good luck, Diesel. We're counting on you.
Diesel was in for a few long days and nights of work, so he worked as hard as he could and remained persistent.
I've got to keep working. The townsfolk rely on me to keep them warm.
At the steamworks, Duck had his front buffer beam fixed when he was watching the news on the box and saw what Diesel was doing.
Today, the town's power grid malfunctioned. From the numerous ice storms in the town had lost power, but luckily from the town, the diesel locomotive has been lifted off the tracks and drove it to where it needed to hook up, and is now generating as much as power as he can to keep the town warm. We currently don't know when the power will return. All we know is
don't
that the
breathe.
engine
I
is in
get
the
to see this
pilot's
myself.
assignment. This is
Both his eyes and his mouth were opened wide as he witnessed Diesel straining to keep the town folks warm and with power. Oliver pulled up beside Duck.
Hello, Duck. Diesel's doing a super job keeping the townsfolk warm and with power.
Yeah, Diesel is a nice engine. If you had known better, we wouldn't have pushed you off the rails for amusement. Shh! Spill the beans.
Oh, oops.
So now the truth was out.
So Diesel was telling the truth. I think I owe him an apology.
For the next few days, the Little Western ran like clockwork, and Diesel continued to give power to the town until finally the power grid was fixed. Now Diesel will have to be loaded onto a well wagon to be sent to the diesel works. Luckily, the grooves on the asphalt acted as makeshift rails for Diesel, so it was easier and not that excruciating to reverse back to the tracks. Once he was at a close enough range, the cranes lifted him onto the well wagon.
Doc, listen, I know I'm the last engine you wish to see me, but Wait, you're not Duck.
Oh, diddly widdly woodly, such a strange name for an engine. Wouldn't you say?
And you are?
The engine introduced himself as Royal Pioneer.
I've handled your shunting jobs while you kept the town warm. And buzz whiz whiz, that quite the performance. We'd better get you to patched up for work.
Royal Pioneer left the Little Western and made his way to the diesel works to drop Diesel off to be fixed. During his repairs, Diesel was rewarded with a two-tone livery, black and purple. However, a new paint job wouldn't be the only surprise in store for Diesel.
So this is what the diesel works look like.
Doc, what are you doing here?
Well, I caught a glimpse of what you did for the town. I want to thank you for your generous, and plus, I wanted to apologize for making that assumption.
It's okay, Doc. And I know this apology is 65 years overdue, but I'm sorry too. Once I'm repaired, I'll do everything I can to make amends and regain the Steamy's trust if it takes 65 years more.
Well, maybe it would take that long. Get well soon.
So until Diesel was mended, Royal Pioneer was in charge of pilot duties at Knapford. It was eventually time for Royal Pioneer to go.
So, Royal Pioneer, what do you think of our island?
Diddly widdly widdly. What Wilbert said about your railway was quite true. It was a remarkable experience.
That's marvelous. Well, thank you for coming to help us, and we hope to see you again soon.
Thank you, Sir Topham. And you all are more than welcome to visit the Peak Railway anytime you please. Cheerio!
Royal Pioneer left Knapford Station, followed by a chorus of whistles telling him goodbye. From that day on, there were no more snowstorms. The engines found their work much easier after the storm's passing. And what about Diesel? He was no longer a devious Diesel. He was now a determined Diesel to work hard, regain everyone's trust, and on top of it all, be a really useful engine.